friends, welcome to my channel and today's Beauty Tuesday. And today we are going to talk all about high-end dupe makeup. So we have a little bit of everything here, and the topic of today's video is that I have gone through my whole makeup collection trying to find good dupes for popular high-end makeup. And the reason why I want to do this is because sometimes you can really save yourself a lot of money by just buying the cheaper alternatives. And we have a lot to cover for today's video, so I feel like we're just gonna jump right into it. And a few things of the things that I have here, I do not have the dupes to show you, and I feel like I'm gonna start with that, or the other way, I do not have the original to show you. So I start with those. All the other items here, I do have the dupe and the original, so I can show you side by side. But the first dupe is the Tarte Shape Tape, and I know I do have the dupe for this. That is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. I think it's Conceal and Define. That is more or less a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape. I know I have it somewhere. I know I have the Makeup Revolution one, but I have been going through my whole collection. I cannot find it. It's somewhere, hidden somewhere. But Tarte Shape Tape is one of my favorite concealers, and the question is if the Makeup Revolution is qualifying as a dupe. I would say yes and no. In my opinion, Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define is like a good alternative, like everyday dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape, because I feel like the Tarte Shape Tape can be a little bit heavy to wear on an everyday. I love my Shape Tape, but I also love the Conceal and Define, so it's like so much more affordable and so much easier to get your hands on. So I definitely recommend that if you haven't tried that one. Something else that I wanted to touch base on is dupe for beauty blender. I used to purchase new beauty blenders all the time, but then I have tried so many others. It went from me going from beauty blender to the Real Technique sponge, and that was like cutting the price in half. Then I was going for the Real Technique sponge for a few years, but then I started to buy makeup sponges on AliExpress, and they are $1 each. And this specific one is from iMagic. They're just amazing, and their sponges are, I mean, I do not know why I have ever paid so much money for blenders because these blenders are as good as the beauty blenders and the Real Technique. So really save yourself a lot of money and buy a bunch of this, because you get like 10 sponges and you're not even up in the price for what you're paying for a beauty blender, so it's crazy. Something else that I found when I was actually doing a video here, I was doing a $2 like trying makeup for $2 video, and I tried this Glam of Sweden makeup setting spray. I was addicted, I mean hardcore addicted, to the MAC setting spray. What is it called? And I forget the name of the setting spray I've been using for so many years. Fix Plus. Oh, it's Fix Plus. To be honest, this is 15 kronors, 15 Swedish kronors. That is like $1.50. And since I started to purchase this, I have not justified myself to purchase the MAC Fix Plus. I think I'm gonna buy the MAC Fix Plus in the future, of course, because I love that one. But this one is as good, and for an everyday, I do not need the Fix Plus anymore, because this one, it's amazing and I definitely recommend it. I do not know if you can get it only in Sweden, but if you are living in Sweden and you do run out of setting sprays all the time, go for this one because it's really a good one. And in that video, if you go and check out the video where I tried a bunch of makeup from this brand, it was something wrong with the spritzer on that specific bottle. I have repurchased that one 2 times or 3 times after, and it's no problem with the spritzer now, so definitely something you could check out. Then the last thing that I do not have the 2 alternatives of is also from Glam of Sweden, and it's their Brow Definer. And I used to buy the Brow Definer from Benifit, and now I buy this one. It's 15 kronor, so it's super affordable. It's like $1.50, and it is as good, if not even better. So now let's dig into the things that I actually have both the high-end and the dupes for. Starting with the best dupe out of all. I think this is the dupe where you can save the most money. The Hourglass Ambient Light Palette, and the dupe for this is the Makeup Revolution Radiant Palette. And I feel like when Makeup Revolution created the Radiant Palette, they really tried to be a dupe for the ambient light palette, because it is like a clear dupe. What can I say? I have both of them and I go over my face with both of them. I love both of them, and the Makeup Revolution one is between $10 and $15 depending on where you buy it, because I've seen different price tags. My Hourglass was $85. I do not know the price for it now, but when I bought it, it was $85. It has been lasting me a very long time. I have a lot of products left, but I mean, if I have found the dupes before, I couldn't justify myself buying this, and I will definitely not repurchasing this, even though I love it. But the dupe is so good also, so definitely like save your money. Another thing is the MAC Strobe Cream. And I only have the MAC Strobe Cream in a travel size, and that was $10, but I think that the full size is like $25 or something, or if it was $12 for this travel size, I do not remember. But the dupe for it is the Ultra Strobe Cream from Makeup Revolution. Makeup Revolution does a lot of dupes, like they take inspirations from higher brands. I would say they are not 100% equal, it's a little bit different in the shade, but I mean, for the money, this is half the price of the MAC Strobe Cream, and you can mix this in with your foundation, you can use it as a highlight. You cannot justify the price for the little hint of difference in the shade. I will definitely call it a dupe, and yeah, I mean, I'm not so much into liquid highlighters, but I would not repurchase the MAC one for sure. Talking about liquid highlighters, I did buy the Cover FX liquid drop, the custom enhancer drops. This is not a shade dupe. I know that Makeup Revolution has like complete dupes for the shades, it's just that I do not own the exact shade dupes. But the Makeup Revolution liquid highlighters are like, they are so similar, so I have even had this side by side and thinking I was taking the Cover FX drops, but I took the Makeup Revolution ones and I didn't feel any difference in the formula. They are so equal to one another, and I think that the Cover FX drops are more like 3 times the price from the Makeup Revolution one. So here you can really save yourself a lot of money, and I would not repurchase the Cover FX ones, even though I do love those. Then we have a dupe for a highlighter, and it is the Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop highlighter. So it's a very hyped highlighter back in the days. You cannot get this palettes anymore. I do not know if you can still get the single like Champagne Pop highlighter, but they are a little bit up there in the price, and I have found 2 dupes for this. Same thing here, it's not exact dupes when you see them in the pan, but when you put them on, you do not see so much of a difference. The first dupe is the PS Pure Glow highlighter palette that I have got from Primark, believe it or not. And the color Glimmer are, in my opinion, very similar to the Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop highlighter. And also we have a Makeup Revolution dupe, and it's in the Makeup Revolution Pro HD palette, and this is in the color shades Glow Getter. And in the Glow Getter palette we have a shade up here in the corner, or down in the corner because it's supposed to be the other way around, that is called Golden Kiss, that I will also call a dupe for the Champagne Pop color. So I know that there are many other options out there, and I mean, when it comes to highlighters, it's more or less about the formula, if it's good texture, but also like, I mean, if it's a little bit different in the shade, you cannot see it so much when you put it on. I mean, highlighter is a highlighter. I'm not like crazy for highlighters, to be honest. I love all makeup, but I do not feel like you can tell the biggest difference if you have a highlighter in like a slightly different shade. And moving on to 2 dupes, and it's for the Nars blushes, and I have 2 shades here, and both of the dupes are the Milani baked blushes. And the first shade is the Sin. This is my ride or die blush. Love this blush. I can say already that no blush in the world will kick this blush out. I will repurchase the Nars Sin forever and ever, but this is a good dupe if you do not want to spend your money on the Nars blush. The other one is the Nars Orgasm, and the dupes that I have for them from the Milani baked blushes is from the Nars Sin, and I have the color Berry Amore. When you look at them in the pan, there is a slightly difference, but I can tell you when you put them on, you cannot tell the difference on your cheeks. For sure, it's going to look the same. And for the Nars Orgasm, that was a very hyped blush back in the day, I have the Milani blush in the color Luminoso. And to be honest, I do prefer the Luminoso, so I do prefer the dupe over the original one. And the same thing here, they do not look identical in the pan, but when you put them on the cheeks, you cannot tell the difference. Now we only have 2 dupes left, and the first of those 2 is the Viseart palette, and this is the #1 palette, basic one. And Viseart palettes are crazy expensive. This little bad boy is $80, and as you can see, it's very loved. I've been using it a lot, and Viseart are such a great formula. And I mean, in my opinion, the Viseart palettes are worth the money because they are so crazy good, and if you buy like a basic palette, you can get so much use out of it. But after I purchased the Viseart palette, I actually went and purchased, like a few months after, I purchased my Shade and Light, Kat Von D Shade and Light eyeshadow palette, and I stopped using this because it was like, I just used the Shade and Light. I'm not going to mention that as a dupe, but that is a more affordable option for this palette, but that is also kind of a pricey palette because the Kat Von D palette is still like $50. But the dupe I have for this palette is the e.l.f. Mad for Matte palette. And I'm just gonna say right off the bat that this is not a identical dupe. It's not like it's a shade dupe, but I will say when it comes to wanting to have a matte palette that is very good quality with all mattes and where you have all the basic, I will say the Matte for Matte palette from e.l.f. is so affordable. It's a few bucks and you have all the matte colors you need here, and the formula is amazing. So I'm not gonna say that this is a dupe for the Viseart palette, but when it comes to the price tag, comparing the price tag with the formula, I would say you get so much more for your money if you buy the e.l.f. palette, even though I still love my Viseart palette and I still think that one is actually worth the money. But I do understand if not everyone wants to spend so much money on one eyeshadow palette that is basic matte palette. So that is why I wanted to show you this like an alternative for the Viseart palette. And then the last dupe is Urban Decay Heavy Metallic Liquid Liners, and this is in Moon Night Cowboy, and it's like a golden shade, and this is like $24. I remember spending a lot of money for this, and I wanted to have it for New Year's Eve. And the dupe I have for this is actually from AliExpress. It's liquid glitter liners that are very much similar to the Urban Decay one, and the price tag is super low. I still love my Urban Decay one. I love to wear it, and wear testing wise, I will say that they are very equal. You do not tell so much of a difference. It's a slightly little bit of shade difference, and the Urban Decay, like the glitter parts, are a little bit bigger than in the AliExpress one, but when you put them on, it's like you do not tell so much of a difference. Both of them comes in more shades than this. I do have this one, the AliExpress one, in more shades. If you do want to see a video of that, let me know, but I do have plenty of shades in this. And I mean, you can get so many shades for half the price of the Urban Decay one. So I have never had any problem with the ones that I have bought. I know like you should be careful when buying makeup from AliExpress because it can be bad makeup, but what goes for this ones, I have never had any problem with them like itching or doing something bad to my eyes or anything. But you should be careful when you're ordering from AliExpress. Of course, you should always be careful when you're ordering from like no brand makeup. But that is it for my dupe video for today. And what is funny is that I have already actually filmed this video once, but I accidentally deleted that file. So now I have to refilm everything once again because I have nothing better to do with my life, obviously. But that, my friends, is going to be the end of this video, and I hope you did like it. And if you have any dupes for makeup brands that are a little higher in the price and you want to share them with me, let me know in the comment section, because I would love to see what your favorite dupes for high-end makeup are. But I want to thank you so much, everyone, for staying with me on this Beauty Tuesday video, and I hope I'm going to see you in my next video. But for this time, I want to say thank you so much for watching, and bye!